All right, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is, wherever in the world it is that you happen to be. Welcome once more to another live stream of Cooking with Chat, simulcasting on the IP2 Wiki Info channel and my official Alexandra Mayer's YouTube channel. Today, I was inspired a little bit by my online crush, Mr. Tributary Traveler. He tends to eat a lot of beef and broccoli, especially due to his situation that he's contending with when it comes to psoriasis. Now, those of you who follow me, you know what happened a couple days ago. I was working out. Thank God I wasn't by myself when it happened. But I severely injured an area of my left leg. So I need to eat really good myself over the next few days in order to recover from that injury. But that gives me a reason to cook healthy food. It gives me a reason to partake in a little bit of beef and broccoli, which I have not had in a very long time. I have some sesame teriyaki sauce I'm going to use with it. It's stir fry. I'm making a stir fry style. Stir fry. But I have some interesting live streams coming up, recap wise, over on the IP2 Wiki Info channel. Later tonight, I do want to do a positive, uplifting live stream when it comes to Tributary Traveler. I just feel like it, so that's what I'm going to do. Then tomorrow, we're going to get started on a deep dive into someone who appears at least to be an extreme narcissist, someone who may be contending with mental illness, someone who has a very evil spirit, someone who likely never should have been conceived, someone known as Shannon. Hey, and you know what's great about this situation when it comes to Shannon? I had not heard from LD in a really long time. I like LD. LD is someone I had the pleasure of meeting with in person. Oh, and you know what? I'll tell you, it's so obvious sometimes that there's divine intervention that occurs in my life. And sometimes I don't see it until later. I don't see it until, you know how they say hindsight is 2020. But I'm so glad in a weird way that I'm doing this deep dive into this bitch because it gives me a chance to check in on LD. And I haven't talked to LD in forever. I don't know what is going on in his life. I very, 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 very briefly caught up with him today, and he's doing well. And I feel like part of the reason, maybe, that he and I were meant to meet each other when we did was simply so that at this point in time, I'm his witness to what a few negative things are, just a witness to who he really is, because there's some people who are saying some negative things about him. I didn't even know that people were talking about him like they were talking about him. But I know now, and I've met him in person. I know exactly how he is, very respectful. He was nothing but respectful to me. It was just a bunch of trolls later on the internet who tried to be divisive when it came to he and I having somewhat of a friendship. But LD is not anything along the lines of what this woman, Shannon, was saying. I heard some other people saying some things about him too. So we're going to clear all this up. It's fine. But now I see why it was that I was in Vegas when I was in Vegas, why I was on Fremont Street that particular day that I was on Fremont Street, and why I had a really good evening that day with LD Live. LD actually is the reason as to why I put certain things on the shelf when it comes to his sibling and when it comes to some other things. Some of you out there may not know that, but He's a good guy. And I think those of you out there who are jumping on hate trains, not only against him, but against some other people, you're really missing out on some very good people. Because the people who tend to spread the most hate when it comes to not only live streamers, but people in general, tend to be the people who have the most skeletons in their closets. Putting the broccoli back in there. Stir fry. But those are some things that I can talk about when it comes to this situation with this bitch known as Shannon. And what's weird about this bitch known as Shannon, who we're going to do a deep dive into, is that I've never, to my knowledge, spoken to her. I don't think I've ever spoken to her. Well, that's good. And I just now met Tiffany. I didn't know who Tiffany was before anything, but Tiffany seems like a straight shooter. Tiffany says that she likes LD. She fought with LD before, but it's water under the bridge. And guess why LD? Oh, let me guess. Shannon or someone revolving around Shannon? Most likely. Yeah. LD is the kind of person that you actually want to know. He's a real person. Even though he's down and out sometimes, he always pulls his life back together. He has done that. Considering I only talked to him for like a few minutes today, but I can just tell he's gotten himself together. I'm very proud of him. And again, he's the reason why I've let up on certain things revolving around certain other issues, because I know that he's a stand-up kind of person. And that's the kind of person that you want to know in life. So that's what's going on with me. I'm using this exercise injury I had as an opportunity to have a lot more flexibility than I probably normally would have in my left leg, because as that muscle heals, I can stretch it out more so than before. So maybe that's a blessing in disguise too. I don't really know. That's really cool, Tiffany. That's really good to know and really cool. I'm really glad that I got to connect with you, Tiffany. I'm glad that I found you on YouTube. Thank you for, you know, vibing with me a little bit. I really appreciate it. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun delving into the issue that Shannon is, because from what I've seen, very few people have really looked into her. Why? Because, well, she doesn't matter. But she definitely has a lot of skeletons in her closet, without a doubt. Which makes sense as to why she's talking so much about other people, and justifiably so. But sometimes, when the person is stupid, they have to learn their lesson the hard way, don't they? So, this is what I made. I'm going to eat this. Again, it's inspired by Mr. Tributary Traveler, someone who, in my opinion, is one of the most interesting men on YouTube. But I'm going to eat, and I will see you all later. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching Cooking with Chat, hosted by me, Alexandra.